Okay guys, welcome back to another session. This is part 4 of this video class, tutorial class on surds. Now we are still on compound surds under addition and subtraction of surds, right? Now we will be looking at question 4, 5 and 6 in this tutorial class. Now we have question number 4 on the board, still on the mystery of addition and subtraction. Like I told you before you can add 2 or more surds together, there must be something common to them all, right? Or before you can subtract 2, 3 or more surds from each other, there must be something, a common factor. So, but the question will come in such a way that they will not be common factors. So you have to first of all simplify to a point where you will bring out those common factors. And this will require you to first simplify each of the terms that you are given individually until you now have common factors, right? Now we have question number 4 on the board. We are asked to evaluate 2 roots. Now we are asked to evaluate root 150 minus root 96 minus 2 root 24. This is what we have, guys. And what are we going to do with this? Like I said, now the first thing you do is to see how you can reduce each of these ones differently, right? Now, how do I reduce 150? This is going to give me 2 roots. 150 will have the product of 2 numbers in such a way that one of those numbers will be what a perfect square. So let's start with 150. 150 divided by 2. The least number that can go into 150 is 2, right? So we're going to have 75. Now 2 times 75 will give us 150, but neither of these is a perfect square. Then we progress. Then we have 150 divided by 3. And guys, 150 divided by 3 will have given us 50. And still here, between 3 and 50, there is no perfect square. Then we move ahead. 150, there is no need to use 4 as the perfect square of 4. There is no need to use 4. Okay, you can decide to use 4. Let's use 4. When you divide 150 by 4, for instance, now, assume we divide it by, you are going to have 37.5. Of course, we do not need this, so there is no need for decimal points, so we need this. Okay, now the next thing we do is to try it out with 5. So I'm going to have 150 divided by 5, and if I divide this by 5, I'm going to have 30. Now, between 30 and 5, none is a perfect square, then I'll move to 6. 150 divided by 6 would have given us what? 25. Guys, hope you see what I'm doing. So, you can keep solving, or dividing until you get at least one perfect square. Like I said, the reason why we do not use that of 4 is because when you divide 150 by 4, you are going to have a decimal point. And we do not need decimal places here, right? Now, at this point, guys, 6 and 25 are factors of 150. And 25 is a perfect square. That means we are going to go with this. There we are going to have this as 25 times 6. Then minus 96 is divisible by 2. Now, when we divide 96 by 2, guys, we are going to have 48. 48. This is what we have. Now, 2 times 48 is 96, but neither of these is a perfect square, so we move to the next number. So now 96 divided by 3. 3 into 3 is 3. 3 into 9 is 3, and 3 into this is 2. This times this, guys, it will also give us 96. So 3 times 32 will give us 96, but neither of this number is a perfect square. So we progress again and now say 96 divided by 4. Of course, you already know that 4 is a perfect square, right? We know that 4 is a perfect square. But we don't really want to use 4 because 4 may not be the highest perfect square in this number. But let's assume we are using 4. So when we divide this by 4, this divided by 4, we are going to have 24. This is what we have. 4 times 24. We are going to have 96. Then we move to 5. Of course, we know that 96 is not divisible by 5, right? So we move to 6. Now move to 6. Now, so 96 divided by 6. Now when we divide 96 by 6 first, how many times we go into, how many times is 6 going to 9? That would have given us 1, carry 3, put 3, that's 36, that's 16. So you see now, 6 times 16 will give us 96. Now at this point, the highest number here is a perfect square. Of course, like I said now, 4 and 24, there is a perfect square, but there is possibility that inside this 24, there is another perfect square. And that's the reason why we progress to 6. Now, when we use 6 to divide this, we now have this. Alright, now this is the list. So at this point now, we are going to go for this, where we have the highest perfect square value. Now, and also we already have that this is 6, and also we have 6 here. And please, sometimes, once you get the first, now I want to give you a trick. Once you get the first value, just as we already know that this is 25 by 6, to get the other one, the easiest way is just to say, okay, 150 divided by 6, just go straight, because before you will be asked to subtract these things from each other, they must have a common irrational number. So if the irrational number here is 6, that means this one will also have 6. So I need to know what I will multiply with 6 that will give me a perfect square, and that will be product will give me 150. So that will give me what? 96. I hope that is taken. Yes, that's like this. So in this case now, I'm going to have the square root of 16 times 6. Then minus 2 the square root of what? 6. 4 times what? 6. So like I said now, the easiest one, when we get to 24, this is 24. 24 divided by 2 is 12. Neither of them is a perfect square, right? Now 24 divided by 3 is 8. Neither 3 or 8 is a perfect square. Now 24 divided by 4 is 6. Now between 6 and 4, we have 4 as a perfect square. And 4. Now what do we do here? At this point, guys, I'm going to short it. This is going to be 2 times. What is the square root of 25? That is 5 times the square root of 6. So I just keep one step here now. Alright? Instead of now saying root of 25 times root of 6, you skip one of the steps. That is how it is. Okay, in another video, in another question, I will still skip this 5. I will just put that 10 there. I hope you understand, right? So in this case now, I'm going to have the root of what? I will open a bracket. What is the root of 16? That's 4, guys. So square root of 16 is 4 times root 6. Then minus 2 times square root of 4 is 2 times root 6. That's how it is, guys. So the next thing we do is to multiply 2 by 5, and this will give us 10. And 10 times root 6 is not root 60, but 10 root 6. Then minus 4 times root 6 will have given us 4 root 6. Minus 4, 2 times 2, guys, that would have given us 4, and 4 times root 6 would have given us 4 root 6. It's as simple as this. Now the next thing we quickly do is that this is 10. Now when we check across the board now, we now have something common. Like I said, until you have something in common across the terms that you are given, you cannot subtract or add them together. Now we have something common, and that factor that is common here is root 6. So we can open a bracket and pull down root 6 there. Now 10 root 6 divided by root 6. Root 6 cancel root 6, you are going to have 10. Minus 4 root 6 divided by root 6. Root 6 cancel root 6, you are going to have 4. And this you are going to have minus 4. And guys, 10 minus 4 is 6. And 6 minus 4 is 2. Or you can first of all say, okay, this is 10. 4 minus 4 is 8. Root 6. Now 10 minus 8, we are going to have 2 root 6. You see now, this is the simple form. Now we have what? Simplified a compound surd to a simple surd in 2, 4, 5 steps. Now let's head on to the next page of our board and look at question number 5. Now in question number 5, guys, we are asked to simplify or evaluate 45 minus 8 root 5 plus 3 root 20. This is what we have. And how do we go about this, guys? All we simply do here is to reduce all of this and see whether we will have a common factor, because we don't have anything in common. You cannot subtract. Now, they do not have anything in common, but let's take step by reducing each of these terms and see whether at the end they will have something in common. Guys, hope this has added a value to your life and you have gotten a secret that will make you gain mastery over this course. Understand that our mission is to help you gain mastery over all calculation courses. Guys, be ready to be imparted in this our YouTube channel. Follow us on every of our social media because we will be uploading mind-blowing content anywhere, anytime, any day. Now, we have this 45, which is a whole number. It's not in a square root down. This is root 5 because we cannot simplify further. Root 5 is already in its list form, right? So the next one we can only look at now is what? 20. And root 20 can be divided into 2 factors such a way that one will be a product. Like I said, now if this is already root 5, guys, all you just need to do is to divide this by 5 first and see whether the result will give you a perfect square. Like I was trying to explain here before. If this is 20, and now I already have this square root to be 5, that means there's a possibility of also having square root 5 left here. So I'll just say 5 divided by 20, it will give me 4, right? And 4 is a perfect square, that means I can just go ahead and use this. Now let's assume we want to try it in our conventional way. This will have, we are going with 2 first, and this will give us 10. Of course, 2 times 10 is 20, but there is no perfect square there. Then the next thing we do is 20 divided by what? 3 cannot divide 20, but 4 can divide 20, and that will give us what? 5. 4 times 5. Then also 5 can divide. 5 divided by 20, that would have given us what? 4. So you see that it is 4 and 5. Then I'm going to have 4 times 5. I can decide to use bracket on this. Alright? Now the next thing we are quickly going to do, guys, is to put down our 45 minus 8 root 5 plus open bracket 3 times, guys. What is the square root of 4? The square root of 4 is 2, and the square root of 5 is root 5. It's like that. Then the next is to have 45 minus 8 root 5 plus 3 times 2, guys, is 6. And 6 times root 5 is not root 30, but 6 root 5. Alright? So we're going to have 6 root 5, not root 30, because number without square root cannot multiply number with a square root. Then the next thing we do here is to now put down 45. Now, at this point, we see that this and this, the second and the last term, have something in common. And what do they have in common? Root 5. So for me, I will prefer that you first of all arrange it. How do you arrange it? Arrange it in such a way that the positive will come first. So I'm going to arrange it in this one. I'm going to have 6 root 5, then minus 8 root what? 5. Just make it easy this way. Let the positive come first and let the negative go back. Just as we were doing, just as we followed when we were looking at fraction, the law of Bodman's, right? Now, let's assume that's what we are following here. Okay? Now, the next thing we quickly do, this will have given us 45. Plus now, between this point and this point, we say what is common is root 5. So we open a bracket and put down root 5. Now, 6 root 5 divided by this common factor root 5, we are going to have 6 here minus. The next is what? 8 root 5 divided by that same root 5. Root 5 cancels root 5. We are going to have 8. It's as simple as this, guys. Then the next thing we do is to put down 45 plus 8 minus. Now, 6 minus 8, we are going to have minus 2 root 5. And minus 2 root 5 times this, we are going to have 45. Plus times minus, guys, is minus 2 root 5. This is the answer. Because you cannot simplify. This is a whole number. You cannot remove this from this, except that you are dealing with another topic whereby your answer is not required to be in short form. Now, for YX students, JAM students, GCE, NECO students, and 100 level students in various universities and polytechnics, colleges, college of education, sometimes you see in your question you are asked to leave your answers in short form. That means you leave it in terms of square root. Maybe when you are dealing with elevation and depression, or you are looking at bearing and distance, sometimes you are asked to leave your answer in short form, right? So when you are asked to leave your answer in short form, you leave it like this. This is the least we can simplify this to add this one. So this is the answer to this very question. Now we head on to the last but not the least under compound sort, which is addition and subtraction of sort, before we veer into multiplication and division of sorts. Now, we are asked to evaluate 5 root 12 plus 4 root 72 minus 3 root 18 plus 2 root 75. Now guys, as usual, there is no way you can add two or more fractions together if you do not have common factor or common term, right? There must be common term before you can factorize or you can subtract one from the other. All right, now how do we get that done? We need to simplify each of these terms individually to their least surd form. All right, now we will have this as 5 root 12 as given, plus 4 root 72 as given, minus 3 root 18 as given, plus 2 root 75. Guys, what else do we do? The next thing we do now is to see how we can simplify this. Now, that is because of the space that I have here. I have limited space here. I'm going to short this. Alright? But I already know that you understand that root 12. So I'm going to solve this S way. Now, if I have root 12, root 12 would have been what? 4 times 3. Alright? Yes. Root 12 will be 4 times 3. Okay, let's see if we can manage this part. This would have given us 4 times 3 for 12. Then plus open bracket 4 root. Now for 72 we are going to have 72 over 2 and this will give us 36, right? Now 36 times 2 is 72 and 36 is a perfect square, so we are going to go with 36 times 2. It's as simple as this. Then minus 3. Alright, now minus open bracket 3 root. Now 18 divided by 2 will give us 9, and 9 times 3 is 18. 9 is a perfect square. Oh, we are going to go with 9 times 2. So we have 9 times 2. Then finally we have square root of 2 roots. 75 would have given us what? 25 times 3. Of course, we have been using 25 since we started solving problems on surds. So we have used 25 countless times. Now, what do we do here? At this point, the square root of 4 is 2. Right? Yes. Now, the square root of 4 is 2. So I'm going to have 5 times 2. And 5 times 2, guys, is 10 root 3. This is what I said I will skip here today. Instead of having 5 that I will just multiply them direct. So that's exactly what I just did here now. When you find the square root of 4, you are going to have 2. 2 times 5 is 10. That would have given us 10 root 3. Then plus 4 times root 36 is 6. Right, correct? Then times root 2. This is the simplification, the outcome of what we have. Is that correct now? 4 times 6 is 24. And 24 times root 3, we are going to have 24 root 2. Sorry, this is root 2. Yes. Then we are done with that. Then the next is what? 3 times root 9. Guys, root 9 would have given us 3. Now, 3 times 3 is 9 times root 2. Then finally, root 2 times root 25. Now, root 25 here is 5. Now, we are going to have 2 times 5. Guys, 2 times 5 is 10. Then we are going to have 10 root 3. It's as simple as this. Then what do we do? We see now that in this expression, we have root 2 and root 3. And each of these appear twice. So we need to rearrange this. Alright? So first, I'm going to have 10 root 3. Do I have another root 3 again? Yes. I also have plus. Don't forget the sign that is connecting this root 3 is plus. I'm going to have 10 plus 10. I'm going to have plus 10 root 3. Then I'm done with the root 3. Then I'll start with plus 24 root 2. Then minus 9 root 2. Guys, this is as simple as this. Then the next thing we do is that between these first two terms, something is common. And between these last two terms, something is common. And what is common here? 10 is common here, root 3 is common here. So let's factorize root 3 out. So we are going to have here as root 3, open a bracket. Now, when we divide 10 root 3 by root 3, we are going to have 10. Plus, when we also divide this 10 root 3 by root 3, we are also going to have 10. Then plus, between 24 root 2 minus 9 root 2 is common. And what do? We will factorize out root 2. Then we open the bracket, close the bracket, then pull down root 2. Now, 24 root 2 divided by root 2, we are going to have 24. Then minus 9 root 2 divided by root 2, we are going to have 9. That's all. Then all we do here now is to add 10 to 10. Now, guys, 10 plus 10 will have given us what? 20 root 3. And 24 minus 9, guys, we are going to have 15. It's as simple as that. So we are going to have plus 15 root 2. Guys, this is our answer for this question. But for those that are doing objective, for objective students, you can have that this answer is further factorized. Of course, you cannot add this and this together because they do not have the same square root. This is exactly the same thing as 20y plus 15x. So there is no way you can add 20y to 15x. If, for instance, root 3 is y and root 2 is x. So there is no way you can add this and this guy together, right? Yes, there is no way you can add them together. But there is something that is common between them, which is 5. Assuming you are writing PPT, Bible and paperwork, you can stop here, all right? But if it is CBT, OBJ, and you find out that the options you have, there is nothing like this, or maybe there is a bracket, there is the factorize, that means you need to take one more step to factorize now. What do you factorize here? You only factorize the coefficient of the irrational numbers, all right? Now, the coefficient of the first one here is 20. The coefficient of the second one is 15. And 20 and 15 have something in common, which is what? 5. So, therefore, we are going to factorize this. If what is common between this now is 5, we put down 5. Now, 5 into 20. We are going to say 20 divided by what? 5. And that would have given us what? 4 root 3. Plus 5 divided by 15 divided by 5, we are going to have 3 root 2. This is the least form or the possible results you can have for this particular question. Guys, I have hold you by the hands and walk you through how to solve compound sorts and simplify it to what? Simple sorts. So for this question now, the simple sort of this question is this. There is no way you can simplify this further except you will no longer leave your answer in short form but in decimal places. Now guys, what is the next thing here? The next thing we are going to dive into is multiplication and division of sorts. So check the description below and you will find the link to the video that will teach you how to solve problems under multiplication and division of sorts. Please like this current video you just watched, share it to all your friends, your loved ones, even your enemies. Let your student be aware of it as a teacher. Let your student be aware of it as a lecturer. Let your friends be aware of it. Let your classmate, your classmate, and every person around you, in fact, your whole school, be aware of it. See how you can share this platform to people. There are so many students out there who are looking stranded. Just the same way this have helped you gain advantage of some areas in calculation. There are people who are yearning to have opportunity to access materials and content that we are releasing in this platform, but they do not have their way to this. Now you have your way to it. Please share. Somebody will appreciate you later for that. And myself, I deeply appreciate you. Please, if you find any area difficult in this question that we have solved so far, please don't forget, don't hesitate to share it at what? The comment section. We will attend to everything that we say at the comment section. Love you. Thanks for watching our videos.